Hey folks, good morning. Happy Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. All right. So today we are continuing with our project. All right. So remember you're making slides about the drug, or if you're doing alcohol that you're doing. So taking a look at this slide, I'm just going to leave it up here for a second. What's wrong with this? How could we make this a better slide? All right. So you are going to write two things in a second. You're going to write two things that you would change about this slide. Okay? Cool. All right. So what I would say is that there's a few different things, right? One, this is just copy and pasted, which makes it plagiarism, which means I can't give you credit for it. It's also a ton of text, right? This is a lot of reading. I'm like overwhelmed just like looking at this. It's a little small. And I'm not really sure what this image is for. It doesn't necessarily seem connected. All right. A better way to do this would be bullet points, right? A bunch of bullet points, making it a little more clear. It's a little, right now we have short-term effects, long-term effects. All right. Now take a second, think what's one more thing that you could maybe change about this? Right. Also, do you know what degenerated nerve branches and nerve endings are? Because if you don't know what that is, your classmates probably won't know what it is either. I personally am not sure what degenerated nerve branches are. I would need to look that up and then reword it, put it in a way my classmates could understand. All right. Other than that, what's one thing? So for example, this is like an even better slide, right? So we've cut down on many of the different, it's become much shorter. This is much easier to understand. It's just like bullet points of main ideas. And we've got an image that kind of shows what someone might look like if they were understanding all these things. All right. And similarly, we've got this. A little bit more understanding, like explanation of what this could mean. Again, we're doing both long-term and short-term effects, like what happens when you're taking it, what happens over the long term as you take it, and then in some cases, what happens, like even what can be lasting damage after you've stopped taking it. Looking at this, what is something that we could do to make this even better? Cool. So do you know what these images are showing you? Like, I know they're showing me serotonin present in cerebral cortex neurons. Do I know what that means, though, and why it matters? Because personally, looking at this, I'm not entirely sure what this is showing me, right? So, although the image is scientific, it's not adding to my understanding because I haven't added in any information. So today, as you're making your slides, you want to think about having a title with capitalization and subtitles if needed, 1 to 2 fonts maximum, size 18 or larger font, the same fonts and color schemes throughout the presentation. Colors that can be seen, right? Make these large and make sure that, if it's a very light color on a very light background or a very dark color on a very dark background, it's very hard to see. Bullet points to avoid paragraphs or full thoughts, pictures or images that have to do with the information on the slide. Examples of helpful images: what does the drug look like? Any maps to show where the substance is consumed, if it's a drug or alcohol that is used much more in one place than the other. Any charts you can show to demonstrate any other demographics associated with the substance, right? Like, is this a drug mostly used by young people? Is this a drug mostly used by a certain race? Is this a drug mostly used by a certain income level? Some substances go, some substances go across categories, and some are much more used by a certain group of people. Are there pictures that demonstrate the physical effects, either on the person or like that you can see on the person's body, or like scientifically, like how it changes their brain? Make sure to explain it. And so that can also be demonstrating the effects on the brain, but you'd want to make sure you explain what that means. All right. Now, as a reminder, you signed up. I'm a little concerned because a bunch of you haven't signed up yet. So this was our assignment on Thursday, right? So this is where you can find this handout. You click on project overview, and you can watch. You should make sure you watch the video of the project overview. You chose a substance. If you haven't chosen a substance, sign up for one. All right. If there's already 2 people on your substance, choose a different one. This is what we already did. If you didn't do this, remember every day that we do this, so including today, you're going to make sure you use a list of resources used during the search. If your image is just an image like we saw of the sad person in there, you don't have to tell me where it's from. But if your image is scientific, like it's giving a graph or a diagram or something, which is even better, make sure you tell us where that's, or tell me where that's from too. Okay. And then, so today what you're working on is what effects are felt by the person who uses the substance. What are the effects as they're taking it? What are the negative effects on the person physically? How does it negatively affect the person physically? And what are the negative effects of the substance on the person psychologically? Okay. And that can be short term and long term. All right. Remember, you can use sources, make sure they're edu, gov, or org, and that they look legit to you. There are definitely .org sites that are not legit. This will eventually be graded on guidelines, neatness, and creativity. You must paraphrase, no copying. And here are some good sources to get you started. All right. Check in if you have any questions, concerns, and hope you have a lovely rest of your day.